My connection to the Minneapolis season of Love is Blind is that my daughter, Vanessa Boreland, was chosen to be part of the cast.
And have you been watching the show?
I watched the first 6 episodes, and I just started the ones that just came out yesterday. Well, actually, they came out today, didn't they? I just started that today.
And what do you think of the show so far?
What do I think of Love is Blind? That is, I like the show and I like the concept. And I think the cast, some of the other women that Vanessa met through this process, they are some of the absolute nicest people ever. What I will say is, I don't think this show represented the vibrant community that Minneapolis has. I mean, Minneapolis is made up of so many different. We have a huge arts culture and music and restaurants, and it's such a melting pot of so many different cultures that make us, who we are. And I feel like what they showed, and I'm reading on social media too, that people are like, oh, is this what Minnesota's like? I'm like, this might be what maybe Farmington is like, or the greater Minnesota, but Minneapolis itself is so extremely diverse. I feel like they kind of did us a disservice.
And do you identify as white?
I do identify as white. Yeah, so for me, even being a white person, I'm like, hey, my husband is Jamaican. My daughter is biracial. My children are biracial. So, and I've worked in county government with, a very diverse population. So I'm used to seeing, diversity in our communities. And I watch the show and I'm like, my gosh, why did they do this? Why did they represent us like this? I mean, we're the home of Prince, for God's sakes.
Yeah. I guess, and what do you think about the screen time that Vanessa got? Like, she's part of, the diversity that didn't get a lot of attention.
I feel there's so much I can say on this. Of course, I am biased as a parent, and I would have liked to seen her have more screen time. What I found interesting is that she had screen time in the lounge area, and she had screen time like at the beginning of the show where they were meeting with Nick and Vanessa. She had screen time then, and they even had, and then after that there was nothing. And she actually did have a connection in the pods that she was like dating somebody throughout the pods all the way up until the end before they go on the vacation. And then they had this dramatic breakup where they were crying, and it was really a big deal. So she was kind of surprised. She was like, wow, with all that going on, I'm wondering why they didn't show that.
Could you share who that person was?
Adam.
Okay. And how did you learn about, like, the tearful breakup? Was she, like, telling you about this after?
I learned about it after. I knew nothing about what was going on the show. When they go on the show, they don't have phones with them. There's no communication with family, with friends, for good reason. I mean, it makes sense because then you could be looking up everybody's name and getting inside scoops on what's going on. So no, I didn't know anything until later when she came home.
Could you share more about, like, what was happening between them, like what that connection was like and what led to the breakup?
Actually, what led to the breakup was that he felt he wasn't quite ready to get engaged. And then I'm not sure if they did it in the pot where this was, but they agreed to continue to see each other afterwards, and they did date when they got home to Minneapolis. So they didn't get engaged. They continued their relationship when they got home, kind of like Kylie and Brian did also. So they continued their relationship, and then they dated for a while, and then for whatever reason, I'm not sure, they just decided that it wasn't something they were going to continue with.
Okay. So they broke up like in the real world after they had kind of gotten to know each other. It wasn't happening
Yeah.
in the pods. Okay.
Yeah.
That's lovely. You know, and so we had spoke to Vanessa last week, and she shared that you had really wanted her on the show and started the application for her. Why did you want her to be on Love is Blind?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Vanessa is so nice and so genuine and just like wants a good relationship with somebody that's, kind and real and not playing games. And she had dated somebody she had a long-term relationship with somebody that basically lied to her and walked out on her. And so then she had recovered from that. She was ready to date again, but I don't know if you've heard from other people, dating in Minneapolis it's kind of a big city, small community. Everybody knows each other. So she wasn't finding like ways to meet new people. So I saw the casting. I was like, you should go on Love is Blind. You should totally do it. And she's like, no, I am not doing that. I am not going on TV looking for love. So I went on the application because I wanted to see what it all entailed. Like, what are the requirements? So I started filling it out. Not to send it in because, just to clarify, they won't accept it from somebody else. Mm. So I went on it to see what it all entailed. So I started filling it out, and then it got to the part where it was like the requirements for it, which is to make a video and present yourself. I think it was just like I can't remember the length. It was a very short video you had to make. So then I sent it to her. I was like, okay, you have to finish it. She's like, oh my God, seriously, Mom? I was like, come on. So then she held on to it for a while. And then she just decided to do it. She's like, okay, I'll do it. And she did it. And they accepted her, which is pretty cool.
What were your, hopes for her being on the show?
My hopes really were that I really hoped that she would meet someone. Like, this was not about, clout or, just going on TV. I really had high hopes that there was going to be some good options for her and that she would meet someone.
Yeah, that's lovely. And how have you seen her experience on the show, impact her?
It was hard because the cast members, she did not know if she was going to be shown at all. So there was a lot of nervous tension leading up to it. Am I going to be shown in the pods? What kind of screen time am I going to get? So she was honestly disappointed when she saw the first 6 episodes and was like, wow, they didn't show me at all. So it was a little bit of a roller coaster. She was like, I look really good on screen. They gave me some screen time, but that's it. And so it was a little bit of a letdown, honestly. She does see it as a learning experience. She sees it as, a great opportunity to go out to LA and to experience being in a big show and meeting a lot of really cool people. But she was disappointed not only in herself, because I will say Vanessa is very much a social activist, and she was disappointed that many of the other people of color on the show that were cast in the show were not shown at all. Or just like a brief, view in the lounge area, but not in the pods.
Yeah, I guess, do you think being on the show seems worth it?
I think it is. I grappled with this myself after I saw she wasn't on it, and I saw her disappointment. As a parent, you're like, oh, shoot, should she have done this? But I talked to her about it, and she said, no, it's a good experience because a lot of good came out of it. I got to, meet people. All the women that were on the show remained friends outside of the show, which you might have seen on social media. They get together, they go out, she met a lot of really cool people. I don't know, I think it was worth it. It's just going into it, I think you have to have your, I don't know how to say this. Don't have your sights set too high. You don't know what kind of men are going to be on the other side of the pods.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say a lot of the men were very, I'm white, can I say this? They were really white and conservative. The choice is not great.
Well, I have to ask, so you may have had a chance to meet Adam. What did you think of him?
I did not have a chance to meet Adam.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Vanessa, when she dates, and this is because of a serious breakup that she had a while ago, she's like, I'm not going to have anybody I date meet my parents until they have committed to me. Because I'm not, that's a big deal to bring somebody home and meet your family, and you're making that commitment, and for them to just then walk out on you, or, for you to break up. She's like, so when they got to the point that they weren't going to date, I didn't get to meet him. I wanted to meet him.
And then I wanted to follow up. You mentioned that the group of men on this show seem like very white and conservative. Why is that important to you to not have that, or to have some diversity?
Because Vanessa is a mixed race person, and I know that there was one male cast member that said he doesn't know how he feels about Black Lives Matter one way or the other. And that just doesn't fly with me at all. It's like, if you don't support the person you're dating, if you're dating a black woman and you say you don't know, if you support Black Lives Matter, then you don't support this lovely woman that you're dating. Bottom line, that's it. So,
is there something that she told you that happened that you're surprised they didn't show?
Regarding her or other people?
I guess either.
Okay. I am surprised that they ended Brittany's screen time with her and what was his name? Devin breaking up, and the way they left that. But she actually went on to date somebody else and got engaged, and they never showed it. Her and Mo. And Mo, for whatever reason, a black man, he, I think, was shown in the lounge once where they flashed his name on screen and then never saw him again. Same with Hugo. And I know Vanessa had some dates with Hugo. I just feel overall it would have been a better show, not only for me as a parent, but for me as a viewer, to see, like, they had 32 cast members. Let's see what some of these other people did instead of the same. How many did they show? 16, I think. So that overall, that's what surprises me, is that so many of the people were just kind of left hanging out in the lounge.
Those are my main questions. Is there anything else you want to share that I didn't ask about?
The only thing I would share is that Vanessa, how do I put this? She's single. And if there's any really nice guy out there looking for a fantastic woman that, is really interesting and adventurous, she's single. You got to go through me, though.
Okay. I appreciate the advocacy, for sure.
Yeah, but it was a good experience. Love is Blind was a good show, but they dropped the ball on Minneapolis for sure. They really, really did. And Vanessa did have a good time. She made great connections with people, but it would have been really fun to see her connections in the pods, because I know, one more, she was also dating Daniel, who ended up with Sarah?
Taylor,
the nurse.
yes.
I get those two mixed up. Okay, so she was dating Hugo, she was dating Daniel, and then she had a connection with Adam. And she was there the whole time, so honestly, it would have been really fun to see that, but I'm not a producer. I don't know what they're looking for.
How many other seasons of Love is Blind have you watched?
I think I've watched 3. I can't tell you the ones, like the numbers, but I've watched 3 for sure. Yeah.
And I guess I also want to come back to, is there a particular reason why you're, super strongly, advocating for Vanessa to find her person, right now?
Because she wants to. And when you're a parent, you want your kids to be successful in the things that they want, basically. If she came to me and said I wanted to be single for the rest of my life, then I would not advocate for that, But I do know she wants a strong relationship. She wants a family. She wants to have kids. And I would love to see that for her.
Did you sign an NDA?
I did not.
Okay.
I did not. Vanessa did, and that's why she couldn't be here.
Vanessa was really lovely, and no, I totally understand, and I appreciate that you are willing to share what you know with us.
Anytime.